sort of cargo gears are there. Now, okay, every cargo gear has got its own plus minuses and all, and they have got lot more to do with loading discharging rates and commercial activities of the ports than for a ship doesn't use for own use cargo gear except when you are cleaning holds and you have to pick up something from the hold. Cargo gear is totally dedicated for port activities. Now, once upon a time, sailing ship days, they used to actually carry it on the back. So you'll find all the old pictures, one laborer carrying something and loading it there, passing it on, walking over the gangplanks and all. So that is where the gangway word came in. And later on, they realized you can fix up a boom and use a pulley on top, and then you pick up something with using the boom. So that was derrick system. They were called derricks by English vocabulary. Americans call them boom because Americans have to be a little bit different than others. Now, then there were many different combinations of booms or derricks. But problem was you had to rig them up every time. Means when you went to port, first your crew rigged up the derricks and handed over the derricks to the shore gangs, where they operated it, and any changes had to be made. Then they used to make small changes, but rigging and unrigging was done by the ship staff. And you do 1, 2, 3, 4. We used to lose a lot of time. It is not as simple like a crane. One guy goes, switches on the crane, pulls up the lever, and crane goes up and starts working. Derricks needed long time. Derricks for certain cargoes were even faster than the cranes. Yes, but certain cargoes only. Basically, cranes are more convenient. You don't need people. One man can handle it instead of a group of maybe 8 or 10 persons to rig up one set of derricks. Okay, 8 to 10 persons were required. So today you may not see much of derricks. You can see the screen clearly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And you can see my cursor also, or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or I can make cursor bright bigger.
Sir, yes, sir. Make it bigger, sir.
Bigger? Okay, fine. 1 minute, huh? Now I will have to go through. Oh, shit. What did I do? Cursor, I put mouse pointer, I should have put. No, sorry. This is big enough. More. Now, can you see it now?
No, sir. It's
Huh?
No, sir. It's too small.
Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
We
Can
can
you
see.
see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, see.
Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, say loudly now. You all have to have some strength.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can start.
Yes, sir.
Cursor also is the biggest one, I think.
No, sir.
Huh?
The size is not changed, sir.
Just
The
it is
pointer
same.
I
same.
changed it. It is
Same
changed
size.
on my screen. Okay, I'll do one thing. I will reshare it again. Okay.
Yes, sir. You share it.
Okay, sir.
Is it clear now? Hello? Are you,
Yes,
can
sir.
you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
say no, then somebody has to
Yes,
say
sir.
again. And now the cursor is bigger or no?
No.
It's the same,
Still
sir.
the same. Still the
Same.
same.
But here I
Same.
got the bigger one.
So you have to exit the screen share and start screen sharing again, not the Moodle.
Okay, okay. I'll put stop share. Okay. Now I will share the screen again. Is it better now?
No,
Still the
sir.
same. Still the same.
Then I think you all have to do it again
Sir,
because
you
there is
highlight
nothing I
that.
can do from here. Do it from your side. One, two guys try it out.
So just let it be ना cursor से I don't think कुछ ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ेगा. Let's start the lecture. Cursor क्या matter करता था?
Huh?
So I'm saying just let the cursor be at least page तो is big enough that we can read ना. Cursor I don't think matters that much.
Other one is
Only.
I can use the same like yesterday's this thing, but
Yes, sir.
okay, I will use
That
this. I don't know. The spotlight is supposed to work, no? What the size of it doesn't make any difference. It's too small. Is this better? Is this better? Say
Sir, same.
somebody
Sir, same.
same stuff.
Sir, it is visible only. It doesn't matter that much. Visible है, but size same है. So as long as it's visible, so I don't think it should be that much of a bother.
Okay, fine. Okay. Now, this is one of the ships which is like cargo ship which is carrying some containers on deck. Now, you see these tall structures. You see this is the highest point on the ship. Now, this sort of a derrick was known as Stulken derrick. It's a German word spelling, don't ask me, but it's Stulken. Okay, it's a weird combination UI and all. Now this one, Derek, could work on this hatch cover as well as this hatch cover, and their capacity was very high. So what used to happen? See, there are big tackles here, then there are two from sides, and this will be pulled on one side, and then it will pick up the huge parcel and discharge it. But you load very few special heavy lifts. You see, these ships were designed in the days when third world was waking up, and they were getting industrialized. So a lot of equipment used to come from Europe. So they needed the specialist ships. And same ship also has got a derrick stored here. Now, when they have to use it for normal cargoes, they will rig up this one. It will get pulled up here, these blocks, and then it will become something like this, which will be swinging and doing it. Like rather, I'll show you, like this pen, and then it will turn, do discharge, load, discharge. Okay. So this was the Stulken system. Here you have got two masts. These are all called masts anyway. To support the system. Though this uh, derrick is much higher, and this is the highest point of the ship. So if I ask for a air draft, it comes from here, not from there. It comes from here. Then This is another type of ship. This one also has got special heavy lift, but that is accessible for this hold and this hold. That is number 2 and number 3. Two holds are served by a special heavy lift derrick. It's a little different type of design, but again you have got a similar mast, and this is also the highest point on the ship. Then you have got the derrick system, and the masts are goalposts. These were called goalpost masts because they look like a goalpost. And two derricks are used, and they were used in combinations. And there were many combinations we could use on derrick system. There was flexibility. Only problem was too much of a time, too much of wire to handle, too many people are required to rig up, and so on. Now here you see there are front two are stored, that is correct. They are stored there because they are not in use. The other two have been rigged and kept ready, even though this ship is not alongside, but they seem to be in some sort of a river or something with water is good, it's not rough. And that is the reason these derricks are already rigged up by the ship staff to avoid wasting time in the port. So you have got something rigged up here, you have got rigged up here, rigged up here, rigged up here, only this is not rigged. So this is how they used to save time. We used to fight with the time, because to keep the ship stay in port minimum time. Then you have got the more modern ship, where we have got ship's cranes. Now this is the ship's crane, and you see the hatch covers open in 4.5 directions here, and these are the ship's cranes. So only one person goes in, another person helps him out, because what happens, the hook is tied up, so he will slack it first. So he will remove it from the, generally a rope strap is there, means a loop of a rope. So he will untangle it, and then I will just lift up the hook and lift up the boom. Now this is also called boom of a crane. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these 4 cranes are there. You will also notice, like I had told you, they are in between the hatch covers. They are on the line, the transverse bulkhead, where this one and this. Now this crane can work this side, or this crane can work this side. So 4 cranes can work in 5 holds. Now they are not going to use this for discharging, so they have been moved out of the way, means they have been swung away, and the shore crane is working here. This is the shore crane which is working there for whatever the reasons, because ship's cranes have got a limited range to discharge. It will discharge up to here, whereas this crane can pick up from here and go quite a distance on inland. And for variety of reasons, they may have specialist gear or so on. This ship, there is another thing I want to point out, is like this one is a grab. These grabs are for discharging of bulk cargoes, and this ship, they can be attached to these cranes, but they are stored right now. So this is the storage position. This ship, another thing what you are going to notice with the ship's part is, this is mooring gear. Okay, this is mooring gear, we will be doing last in this chapter. This is all mooring gear. Then you have got, this is the poop deck. Okay, this is the poop deck. What happened is, this is main deck, which is up to here. They have got entry from here. So lot of ships you will not find entry, everything is on top. And this is this is also called boat deck. Why? Because lifeboats are here. But this has got little different design, not very common design. The mooring gear is on boat deck gear. Okay, boat deck. Now masts were supplied always with derricks. Remember, the derricks are there, masts are there. Derricks are there, masts are there. Here you don't have derricks, so you don't have mast. There is a small mast put forward for navigation light, and this is another mast with houses navigation light plus radar scanners and all. This is the company label logo which is put on the funnel. Yesterday somebody had asked me, I don't know, remember this class or other one. Now these are some examples of the masts. These were standard masts, see, single pole like thing, and then it opens up. Now what it does is there are blocks here. Blocks are like pulleys. Pulleys are called blocks on the ship. So there is a different combination, and this is supporting the whole mast system. Now here also you have got rails. Why? Because when people are working on top, you don't want them to fall down. So there are rails and safety rails are provided here also, because if they have to work on this, they need a stable platform. So platforms are already there. See, this is derrick system where derrick swings. Okay, this derrick swing means they work like a little bit like crane, but crane goes in 360 degrees. They go approximately 160 degrees of arc from one side to other side, and pivoting on this point. But the rest of the structure is rigged on top. You can see the various blocks or sheaves, whatever you call it right now at this stage, but you have to call it blocks. These are the cargo hooks. You see, these are the double type, ram type. Otherwise, there can be a single type of hook. So these ones operate, you can say about 40% like cranes. But main drawback is you are restricted, and also lots of moving parts. Wires are there, too many wires, too many things. So the maintenance is also very high. This is called mast house. Why? Because the mast is there. Today we call them deck houses. Now this runs from port to starboard. When it runs port to starboard, underneath there are spare wires, because you will have a lot of spares. So spare wires, spare blocks are stored inside. And on top you have got the machinery which is used to pull these wires. Plus some boxes are there to store some things. These things are ventilators, these ones. Okay, that is cargo ventilators. For cargo holds, I got ventilators. Again, the rails are there. These are the safety rails. Cranes have become popular because they're in long run they're much cheaper. The cost is more, maintenance is easier. You don't need much of manpower. Like see, my first ship, we were I think 63 or 64. Okay, today's ship you will have normal staff of about 22 persons, and you can reduce them also if you want, but 22 persons seems to be the most convenient figure. So 22 to 24 adding up cadet or extra trainees. See here you can see these are the two cranes. Okay, these are the two cranes which are doing a joint operation. This is called twinning. Just if you remember, very good. If you don't remember, don't bother. But this is twin crane operation. Though that's a specialist cargo gear. I will let you know later on sometime. In case otherwise it will be covered in your cargo work. Again notice it, there is a safety rail around so that nobody is expected to fall down. But this is operating hydraulically. Okay. It is boom is picked up and lowered down by wires, but turning around is hydraulic. So this is the generalized systems of derricks and cranes. Then you have got lot of specialty gear. Okay, there is a lot of specialty gear which is designed for specific cargoes. There are conveyor belt system. there are specialist grab systems, there are cranes which travel in 4.5 direction on the rails like a railway tracks, and they discharge in a particular way. So depending on cargo, you have got a lot of different systems. All you have to know is what is derrick system in general. Yes, this ship has got derrick system, this ship has got crane system. Now cranes also come in variety of shapes and sizes and capacities. Capacity is the main issue, and range. Like even tankers have got midship, there will be two cranes. Why? They need to pick up the heavy pipes and connect it. So there is always something. Some ships don't have the cargo gear. Reason being, either they go to specialist ports and they are chartered for a long period of say 20 years or something, or it is possible that those ports have got far superior gear. So the ship owner is not going to waste money on fixing up something because you're not going to use your ship's gear. Whereas there are ships like especially up to 100,000 tons deadweight capacity. These both options are used because many of them are doing a specialist trade to supply coal, iron ore to the factories which are placed in creeks. So generally they anchor, they don't go alongside, they anchor, barges come and take the cargo. So they discharge with own gear because they don't have access to gear. The ships which are going to go to berth may use the shore gear. Earlier days we had more ships with the cargo gears because world was not developed. Most of the ports, third world ports especially, had only the key. Key means the berth. They did not have cargo gear, cranes, and all. It was investment for everybody. So, ships used to have cargo gear. Now, more and more ports are well developed. You are going to go there, you don't use your crane. That is what I showed you here. This ship is not using own cargo gear, they are using the shore cargo gear. So, these things happen. So, based on your requirement, you have cargo gear, and it is designed for specific cargoes which your ship is supposed to carry. Clear on cargo gear or any doubts? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Clear or no? Hey, participants, you have got yes or no. Click on it. Let me see. You all are awake. Hey, 33 to 32. Anybody who has not understood, that is what is my main concern. Lot of guys are missing. You can see it. 52, 53 are missing. They are just logged in. 53. Are you there? 53.
Yes, sir.
Then why you are not responding to yes or no? All these tricks we have learned from students only. Huh? Shashank, are you there? Shashank, are you there? See, this is that Badmashgir. He may be playing PUBG on the phone. Jeez, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Then why you are not marked yes or no? On participants, you have got yes or no to click. Shashank, are you there? Not there. See? Don't do this Badmashgiri because it will hurt you in the end. Okay. You will have that, yes, you are present in the class, no problem. But if you don't learn, you will fall behind. That is your concern, correct? Not my concern then. Because you were in the class and you did not even respond to anything. Okay. In case of doubts later on also you can ask me. So no problem. We move on to anchoring and mooring equipment. Now what happens? The ship has to come to port. And there are two options. One is you anchor in the port where you drop the anchor and anchor in the port. And once upon a time, then barges or small boats used to come alongside. You discharge cargo in that, or you load cargo from that. That was one method when things were not developed. But it takes very long time. It needs extra equipment and so on. So over a period, along with anchoring, anchoring is a requirement wherever you want to hold a position in shallow waters, you need the anchors. So there is anchoring equipment. And mooring is what? Mooring is tying up your ship to a berth. Now there are different mooring is in general, this is the definition, tying up your ship to a berth, or there are other types of moorings which were used earlier, that was tying up to the buoy and ship was still doing loading discharging at anchorage. You can say type of anchorage it was, that mooring. But mooring in general today is making fast ship to berth. Now when you look at the size of anchors, you know definitely you can't do it with hands like ऐसा ऐसा उठा के फेंक दिया. No way. They're huge. They weigh more than the loaded trucks. Okay. So you can't really do anything about it. You have to have equipment. Now, windlass. Windlass is the special mooring winch. It is a mooring winch only, but it is specially made only to handle, not only, sorry, to handle anchors and chains. It has got many parts which you will be doing later on. I'll show you a picture. Okay. Now see, this is windlass. We call with the winch which handles anchors is called windlass. Okay. Now this is the most powerful mooring equipment you have got on board because it is handling anchor. It is more powerful than others. Now the anchor, see this huge chain is there. This chain is so big you will not be able to lift up one link of it. One link may be about 30-40 kilos depending on again size of the ship, but on average I will put around 30-40 kilos one link. Okay, one piece. So what happens is we have got the names for different parts. This is anchor stopper, it's a guillotine type. This one drops down and this is locked in these pins so that the chain doesn't slip anymore. Then there is a brake. This is the brake which holds the chain. Means there will be force here, no, because there is so much of weight. To hold this, there is a brake which goes on a drum. You tighten it up. And now this is the gear guard. There are gears underneath, and their leverage is used to take mechanical advantage because it is that heavy. This is what we can see from here. Then the same one is also connected. Since I have it, why don't I make some attachments and make sure that I can use it for mooring ropes. So there are drums for mooring ropes which we engage and disengage. So we have got options on windlass. Use for anchors when you are not, because what happens is in port you don't use anchors. You will be tying up your ship with the ropes. At anchor you will be using only anchor. So in port you disconnect the anchor and connect these mooring arrangements. Now again we are coming back to, I'm showing you again and again because These are the safety rails. Okay, what we did it as a bulwark. Now bulwark, this is bulwark, this is safety rail. What is the difference? You see the bottom one here, the bottom one, it is narrow. Why? Because a person shouldn't go through it. That is the idea. Now, anything else I can show you here? There are lashing arrangements for anchors. At sea, you lash up anchors when you do some more processes. Okay. This is what we call it as a booby hatch. Okay, any opening is called hatch, and it has got a lid and the tightening arrangement to make it weather tight. This is where the anchor chain goes out, and below this hole which goes out of the ship you have got an anchor. So when you see any ship's picture you will find anchor there, but this is one pipe which is called hose pipe. Don't worry about remembering all the names. Huh? Okay, so the winches, mooring winches are designed to handle mooring ropes, whereas windlass is a special mooring winch which can handle the anchor as well as mooring ropes. Got it? Yes, no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Very good. Now, all the mooring winches are placed on forecastle deck forward or quarter deck, means right astern. Right astern, you also have got mooring winches because you are going to make fast forward and aft. Two places you are definitely going to make fast. On tankers, or sometimes on some very long over carriers or something, you may have some mooring winches somewhere placed in the middle of the ship. Why? Because they go to specialist port where they have to give some extra ropes. Otherwise, forward and aft is compulsory for every ship. Middle parts, tankers generally you will notice the long tankers and all. There are one or two mooring winches in the middle, a pair, one port, one starboard, one port, one starboard. There may be four mooring winches on main deck, on tankers or some long bulk carriers. Otherwise, forward and aft mooring winches. Windlass is only forward for most of the ship, practically all the ships. But there are an odd examples where rare today, means practically you should not see one, but the ones who used to do a lot of mooring, so there can be a system where there is a similar like windlass but a little smaller version aft also, but no anchors, or sometimes you may have anchor there, but those ships you are not going to see today. They used to exist because earlier days it was more complex operation. So mooring winches, they are specially designed to handle mooring ropes. Now ropes can be, mooring ropes are either the synthetic ropes or wires or combination of both. Now mooring ropes also, there are on drums, what way I showed you. This is on drum. This is on drum. But you also have got mooring ropes which are loose, and those ones need to be tied up. Now this ship doesn't have that arrangement. I will show you on some other picture. So that is where you take the thing on the drum and do manually. So those were called warping drums. Warping drum. WARPING drum. Fair leads are set of rollers to guide the ship, ropes. They will not allow rubbing of the rope because rope will get damaged. Now this rope, what you see here, it is thick like this. Okay, thick like this. You will not be able to hold with one hand. It's that big in diameter and needs approximately about 90 to 100 metric tons to break. So you can imagine if it breaks, if somebody is on the path, just finished. He won't even know that person is dead. Fair leads, that is what the rollers. Panama leads or chocks, I will show you with the diagram these ones. They are meant to make fast the tugs. They are not really meant fast to send the ropes for because when the rope starts, you start pulling it, it starts rubbing. Panama leads and chocks are just a hole. They don't have any rollers. Pedestal fair lead. I'll show you the pictures here, okay? These are raised fair leads to guide the rope to the warping drum, also known as old man or a dead man. Bollards or bits. This is the cylindrical steel pieces where mooring ropes or wires are made fast. Now I am going to show you on the picture. Okay. This is fair lead. This is a roller. This revolves on a vertical axis. This is Panama lead or a chock. It is meant for making fast the tug. When you take the tug's rope, pick it up and you put it here, or you give your rope to the tug from here and make fast. So this rope is not getting rubbed. It is just going over, changing the direction. So this is Panama lead or the chock. Now these rollers are on more or less ground level, more or less. Okay, they are always above the deck level. These are the ones which are like pedestal roller. Now this roller is on top and it has got a stand. So this is known as an old man or a dead man. And this purpose is when you are taking the rope from anywhere, it guides it. It guides it to this warping drum. Why? Because this is where I am going to put the turns of the rope and turn it and pull it with the hand. So this will get pulled by the power and I am holding the loose end of the rope in hand. So this is the system. So this old man guides the rope to this in a proper direction. Otherwise it will get entangled. So it guides it properly there. This is a ventilator here. This is a booby hatch to put the ropes and all down, or access to the store down. Here you have got say 1, 2, 3, 4 ropes on drums. Because when you use it from drums, the operation is much faster. It saves a lot of time. If you use it from warping drum, it takes longer time. Then this is the machinery of the mooring winch, hydraulic machinery. Underneath this, there is hydraulic machinery. Now hydraulic machinery will be a separate store. It will not be a steering gear compartment. It will be a separate store. Okay. So these mooring winches, rope drum, warping drum, fair lead, bollards or a bit. This is where we make first the rope by figure of 8. When you see some pictures, you will understand figure of 8. And generally here there will be pada and all that side will be there. To take stopper, what we say stopper means if I am pulling the rope on this and I want to transfer it on this. Okay, because this is where I am finally going to make fast. This is a temporary arrangement. I am pulling it on the drum. In that case, what happens is at some stage I want to hold the rope here. So there is something called stopper. It is the smaller rope which is taken with a certain skill to take the load off from here so that this rope can be removed quickly and then people do very quick job of putting figure of it and then it is made fast, we say. So this diagram is clear. Any doubts on this?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, what is the use of Panama lead? Can you repeat?
Panama lead, see Panama Canal. It started with Panama Canal. They used to give a wire. Okay. They used to give a wire, 2 wires actually, to make fast the ship. So they used to pass it through the air like this. And the eye was here. We used to put eye here and other eye here. So there is one mule on port side, one mule on starboard. Mules are sort of locomotives on railway tracks. So they used to hold the ship in the middle, because what happens, ship is going in the canal in locks, and that time ship may move sideways and all. So they used to hold it in the position by tightening, pulling, pushing. Not pushing, pulling on whichever side is required. So it started there, Panama, because it is just the hole made. Later on, every ship has got it because we also make first tuck through this. See what happens, the tug which is going to pull will be made first from here normally. So we just pick up the rope and put the eye here. There is no rubbing there. That is why it is called Panama lead, because it started with Panama Canal or a chalk. Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, Great Lakes also have a lock and they need another type of system. That system is this, where you have, instead of chalk, see the chalk doesn't have roller, so if you actually start pushing the wire or rope, rope will get damaged. Why? Because it's going to rub against the steel surface and there will be a lot of friction, heat will be produced, ropes will be damaged. This one is a system where you have got one roller on top, one here, then other two rollers here. So whatever you pass through this, when you push, it is not going to rub. It will be rolling on the rollers. So there will be much lesser friction. So this is specialty of Great Lakes. So they were known as a Great Lakes leads. Because Great Lakes use wires, they don't use ropes. They use wires there for locks. Now, capstan, it is there in your syllabus. It is a mooring winch on vertical axis. Okay. So, the rope is pulled. Now you will get idea how rope is pulled. See, this rope is coming from there. From bottom, the turns are taken, so there is enough friction, and this is rotated on vertical axis, so the rope gets pulled. So you don't pull it manually, you use the mechanical power. You will not see this anyway. It existed long ago, but not today. Today you will not see this. If you see it, there is a chance maybe in Great Lakes, because Great Lakes you have ships which are 100 years old, because there is a fresh water, so there is no corrosion practically. So the things which were designed long back, they kept on changing engines and they use it. So a lot of equipment may be same, but if you go to Great Lakes, that is also not much today. So this is where we finished principal parts of the ship. Now this is, this is on vertical axis. If you put it on horizontal axis, it becomes this warping drum. So try to imagine if otherwise the rope is guided by this fair lead, the old man one, and you're pulling it. Any doubts now? Anywhere? Don't keep silent. Say yes, no, whatever it is.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Actually, there are some YouTube videos also showing you mooring operation. If you are curious, have a look. Okay, every one of them, again, I must warn you, YouTube videos are put by different types of people. Some of them, it's like this. The person who knows everything thoroughly doesn't generally have time to do this social work. But there are enthusiastic guys like cadets, second officers and all. They make videos, they put it. Fine. You try to get idea, but what you see there need not be correct method or perfect method. Need not be. That is what you have to keep in mind. but you get general idea how things are done, and that is what is more important at this stage. As you start progressing, you will get involved with the safety, then you will know what is right and what is wrong, because these videos, the people who are taking are just taking actual operations, and nobody is that perfect always. Copybook style, not that easy to get, but at least they are contributing, so you have got some idea what it is. You search on YouTube, you will get very good visualization, which is what you need right now. But also I want to point out something to you. See how clean is the place. See, this is what people don't realize, that ships are very clean and they have to be maintained that clean. This is why we are there, to ensure that they are well maintained. See the cleanliness. This is what is important. What people never realize it, that is what is our main job is. It is tough job. It is not that easy. Now this is definitely a tanker. The reason why I am saying tanker, even though I don't see anything here, but these are the mast risers, to release the inflammable gases. So this has to be a tanker. And there is another one. This is walkway, which leads from right aft to forward. You need not go on main deck. You walk on top. So in rough weather and all, this becomes accessible. So this is the feature of tankers. Tankers always have a walkway, which bulk carriers and all don't have. Only tankers have got it. LPG, LNG also you may not see it unless it is put on two sides, because in between there are tanks. And then new LPG, LNGs, the tanks are under deck. So you can have a walkway on top. This is requirement for, actually you'll be surprised, but this is a requirement for your reserve buoyancy, because there is a calculation in case there is a damage here, can ship's crew control it? If you can't reach there, you can't control it. That is the reason this is one of the points on reserve buoyancy. So anything again I am asking you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, bolo.
Sir, in the anchor chain, we are seeing red and white marks. So, what does that mean? Yeah, this one.
Yeah, this one. Red
Yes,
and
sir.
white, these marks, actually, there is a way of numbering the length of each length is 28.5 meters. Then they are joined with a special shackle. And we need to know, suppose if I drop the anchor, how do I know how much anchor has gone down? Yes, one can say I can put some sort of a meter here and also on. But when anchor runs out, the chain jumps over also. That much of force is there. So what happens is, every joining shackle, when we join the links, the first link is small, like this. This is a joining shackle. So it is marked red. And now first one, we know this is the first one. So this is just a marker. The next joining shackle, which is underneath, the one shackle will have one white on each side, and in the middle will be red. When it is second joining shackle, it will be red and two whites. Third one will be red and three whites on each side. That is how we know how much cable has gone out of the ship, so that we know approximate length, what is gone in the water. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, now everything is quite simple, straightforward. The terminology will create little problem for you in the beginning. And then if you just start applying normal logic, you will find everything is same. इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, नया नया नाम से बोलता है. That is what happens. I don't know. I had to do a lot of things on my own. So my methods were a little different, because I really didn't have smart seniors or something, and I had to find out things on own. So I had to use my logic and think, and then everything started falling in place. So it became easier. If you get a good guide, nothing like it. But you must apply your logic along with it. Don't accept anything with 100% belief. Be little bit testing till you are happy with what it satisfies you, your logic, curiosity, then only you can absorb it in. Otherwise, you keep it still here only. Don't take it deeper in. Bolo. See, on ships, how much we are careful. Huh? See, this is one pin here. It is like a small pin shaft, metal one. That is supposed to go in this when this is down to lock it. But you see, it is chained, so you cannot lose it anytime. This is how we think about ships. We think 2 steps ahead. It should not get lost because if I lose it, what will I use? That is a major difference between a seafarer and a typical person ashore. We generally think little bit extra, 2 steps ahead. So we are better organized than most of the people. So we have got lesser problems. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No. So this chapter is finished.